Good morning, Red Angus exhibitors, and welcome to the 2025 Keystone International Livestock Expo's Red Angus Show. In the ring, we have Class 602 March heifer calves with 2 entries. Entry 5120 from Lexi Zepp and 5126 from Gabe Zepp. We would like to welcome our judge, Matthew Blankenship. Matt Blankenship and his wife Megan, along with their children, Adeline and Axel, own and operate Next Level Genetics, focused on producing elite cattle in a variety of breeds with an emphasis on Herefords that are shown and marketed nationally. They also own and manage Next Level Images, providing photography services to events throughout North America. Matt grew up heavily involved in the cattle industry and junior programs and appreciates any opportunity to give back to the industry. He enjoys judging various species of livestock across the country and internationally. Please put your hands together and welcome Matthew Blankenship, our judge today.
Well, a good way to start off our Red Angus female show with 2 really nice heifers. The young man's heifer that's going to lead off this class, here's one that just balances up so well. When you study this one in her front shoulder angle, it sets in her so well. And when you put this one in the move, she's so much freer and easier down at the ground than the heifer that's going to be second. One that certainly got some doability and long-term built into her. A really nice female to lead off with. Young lady's dark red one here that's going to be second. One that's certainly got some power and some substance to her. For me, though, I'd like to free her up in her ankle set. When she gets out on the move, she wants to roll up in her pasture ever so slightly, but has a lot of good pieces that you can work with and free that structure up in a breeding piece. Congratulations. Let's give them a round of applause.
The results of our last class, which was the March heifer calves, and they were also your champion spring and reserve champion spring calves. First place and champion spring calf went to entry 5120, CAF Fairwind Princess 731 from Lexi Zepp, and second in the reserve spring calf to 5126, Country Acres Taurus from Gabe Zepp. Now in the ring, we have Class 605 February heifer calves, 2 entries.
Another duo of heifers here. Two females that complement each other on how broody and how cow prospect they look out here. When you study these females, the heifer that's going to lead off the class is one that certainly is overwhelming with power and dimension. And you love the length of spine in this female, and she reaches out on feet and legs and hits that stride with free and ease. And when you study this one on paper, you know, she has a huge spread between her birth weight and her yearling weight, which is very impressive, and to still come out here in a package and have such good look and design about her. Young man that's going to be second, here's one that as well. When you study this female on paper, she has an awesome set of numbers, but out here in the ring setting, she just gives up some dimension and power, overall bone work as the female that leads off the class, but certainly one that is very opened up in that rib cage and good necked. Congratulations.
Results of Class 605 February heifer calf. First place went to entry 2586, MBC Libby 512 from Madeline Montrose. And second place went to entry 3525, Graham Sabrina N55 from Pelton Farms, Brad Ramsey. Next in the ring, we have Class 606 January heifer calves. On deck will be our champion junior calf division.
Just a single entry here in our next class. The young lady brings a really nice female out here, one that is so bold in her rib shape and smooth-shouldered, good up and through her neck. Her chest floor sits in her nicely, one that gets out good on her feet and legs. For me, you'd like to give her more of a stylish hawk when you get this one standing still, but then when you study this one out on the move, it flexes and hits very well. When you study this one on paper, her pro dollar is really, really high, and that's very impressive to get a female out here that goes along with that and has that power and dimension. Congratulations to you on a single entry. Let's give her a round of applause.
Now we'll be bringing in our first and second places out of class 602 or 605 and 606 for our champion junior heifer calf. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We had a division in there, guys. We need exhibitors. First place, we need Madeline Montrose, exhibitor number 2586. And then we need Taylor, exhibitor number 3366, back in the ring for our champion and reserve junior heifer calf.
Two really good class winners back out here as we get into our first division of the day. I think both of these females are relatively good and they're built from the ground up. They've had some substance in the middle part of their body. Cattle that, on show, both of these on paper, they're very good spread all the way across on their EPDs, and I commend you on that. And then we get them out here and sort them from the ground up. I think there's some females that are really good all the way through. There's one that probably just is a little bit better combination female for me when you start studying them in an aspect of show ring presence, and if you were going to turn them out and have that doability out in the pasture, and putting that into perspective, I think each and both of these females is going to do that, but there's one that just puts the pieces together a little bit smoother for me today when you study them from the side. With that said, I'll show you your grand and reserve in this division. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
The results of our champion junior calf division. Our champion is entry 2586 from Madeline Montrose, MBC Libby 512. And our reserve was entry 3366, Cayuga View MS Oda from Cayuga View Farm. Next in the ring is class 609, winter heifer calves, and we should have 2 entries.
first. Very intriguing pair of females out here. The heifer that's going to lead off does very handily for me. You set this one into motion. She gets out free and easy. She handled that spine so correctly out on the move. And one that you love the design of this one's front end. She's smooth in that shoulder blade up into the top side of that neck. One, her chest floor sits in her so well. You love the angularity of this female when you study her. Very high quality female. Young lady's heifer that's going to be second. Here's one that's stout and powerful all the way through. For me, though, she gets a bit vertical on both ends on her feet and legs, but you love the amount of substance and depth of body that this female brings out at this stage in the game. Congratulations to both these exhibitors. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Results of Class 609, the Winter Heifer Calf class. In first place was entry 3646, PR 3S OH Helen, shown by Bella Sneneger. And in second place was entry 3520, Graham LaCarba 134M from Pelton Hills Farm. Now in the ring is Class 610, our senior heifer calves. After this class, we will pull in for our champion fall calf division.
very intriguing class of females out here, and you get 4 different types and kinds when you start studying all these females. The female that I'm going to land on to win this class does so handily for me. You love the condition this female is in. She's fresh and very complete, even though she is fresh and got some longevity left in her. One that is so big-footed and big boned when you study her at the ground, and still relatively reaches up there with free and ease and hits that stride when you get her out on the move. For me, I'd still like to open her up ever so slightly right behind her shoulder blade to blend her a little bit smoother, but one that handles this class fairly easily for me. And then we get in a pair of females that you study these females on the standstill, and you love a lot of parts and pieces about each one of them. The female that I'm going to put in second is one that does so handily for me when you set her out into motion. She's so much free and easier in that hawk set when she reaches up there and strides, and it's more of an elegant look when she goes. She's got some body and substance. You love the length of neck in this female and the power that she brings to be in second place. Congratulations. Young man that's going to be third here is one that's a stout, powerful female. You study this one, her skeleton is so opened up. She's so overwhelming in bone work. But with that, she gets so much tighter in her bone work when she gets out and moves. She doesn't want to flex that hawk. She's a little more, walks out of her hip a little bit more than she does her hawk, but one that's certainly got a lot of power and balance. Young man that's going to round out this class here is a female that is nice and complete, one that just doesn't have all the bells and whistles as a female in front of them, but you love the added power and dimension this one when you study her from behind. Congratulations on a really good class. Let's give them a round of applause.
Results of Class 610 Senior Heifer Calves. In first place was entry 3273, VDL April Fools 61M, exhibited by Ruby Perkins. Second was entry 4266, DZB Athena 245, exhibited by Callie Dayton. In third place was entry 3279, Red Lepage Bieber HD MF2 from Castle Valley. And in fourth place was entry 3523, Graham Sabrina 104M, exhibited by Pelton Hills Farm. Now in the ring is our champion fall calf.
Well, very good division here as we get our falls and winter calves out here and start picking them apart against each other. And I think each of these class winners is very good in their own type and kind. The female that wins that first class, here's one that is so complete and balanced. When you study her at the ground, she hits that stride with free and ease. When you study her, when you go behind her, she gets a little bit narrow when you study her in that stifle shape when she gets out on the go. But one that is so good, and top side of that shoulder blade blends smoothly into her neck with a good transition. Young man that's going to be in this second hole here that won that next class, here's one that just brings the power and the mass and the dimension and the overall just overwhelms the female that wins that first class, one that just puts so many good parts and pieces together. For me, I'd still like to fix this one right behind her shoulder blade ever so slightly to give her a more level top line when she gets on the standstill. She gets just a little more relaxed. With these two really, really good females, it's very, very close between these two. Let's give them a nice round of applause, and I'll get you a grand in reserve.
Results of our fall calf division. Our champion went to entry 3646, PR 3S OH Helen from Bella Seniger, and the reserve went to entry 3273, VDL April Fool 61M from Ruby Perkins. Now coming into the ring is class 614 Summer Yearling Heifers with one entry from Lydia Kliniski.
Just single entry, a summer yearling female here. One that is certainly appropriate in her size and her overall build. One, you love the mass and bone work in this female, which she brings out here in this package. One that is long and slender in the top side of that neck. One that her chest floor sits in her so pretty and elegant when you study her from the side. A very, very nice, complete female for this exhibitor. Let's give her a nice round of applause.
Results of class 614, our summer yearling heifer class. First place and will be our champion of the intermediate division is POPF Abby Grace 408, exhibited by Lydia Kliniski. Now in the ring will be class 618 of our March spring yearling heifers. We should have 4 entries.
this class of females. You get these 4 out here, and you get so many different builds and types and kinds for condition and size and all that. But the female that I'm going to land off in one of this class just does so in a handily package for me. She's the right size for this age. You love the rib shape and dimension of this female. For me, she is a little bit close to 12 o'clock in her condition. She still puts a lot of good parts and pieces together. When she does stop and give you that good look from the side and holds her head correctly and acts good for this female, you love the power and overall dimension. And when she settles into herself, she gets around free and easy on her feet and legs. Then the young man that's going to be here in second place, here's one that, you get a cow in a small package, but you love a lot of parts and pieces about this one. Her rib cage is incredible. You love how fresh and feminine she is up through that front end. For me, though, she doesn't have that exaggerate bone work as a female that wins this class. And for me, she's wanting to roll that ankle ever so slightly every few steps on that left back leg. But her lines are so elegant and peaceful looking when you study this female from the side. And then you get into a pair of females that are nice in their type. Female that's going to be third, one that's big, rugged bone. For me, she gets just a little bit easy in her top line. When you get her standing still, it's better when she gets out on the move. But for me, you just like to strengthen her top line up ever so slightly to move her any higher in this class. And then you get a female out here that's going to round out, one that's just a little far behind in her condition as the females that lead off this class. Just like to see this one a little heavier in her overall condition at this age, stay in the game. Let's give them a nice big round of applause.
Results of Class 618, the March Spring Yearling Heifer class. First place and also our senior intermediate champion is entry 3696, Kip MS BO23 Bell 2422 from Josie Bocott. Second in our reserve senior intermediate was entry 1534, POPF Berry 405, exhibited by Lydia Kliniski. Third was entry 5121, CAF La Carba Princess 698, exhibited by Lexi Zepp. And fourth place was entry 2647, TW Josie 418M, exhibited by Abby Patrick. Now in the ring is class 619, 2 entries in our February junior yearling heifer class.
nice duo of females out here in this next class. I mean, they turn the volume up really quick. Both of these females are so good in their type and kind. Young lady that's going to win this class in the white shirt, here's one that is built so good. At the ground, feet go the right way, her angles are correct. You love the slope to this one's shoulder. She ties in beautifully into her jawline, and her chest floor matches up with that belly, so smooth. You love this one from the top of her spine all the way through that tail head. Is so smooth and square. And for me, what lands her here is you study these cattle from behind. She has just a little more pop and muscle expression when you stand behind this one, but one is certainly good and fresh in her overall build and design. Young lady that's going to be second, this is one that, you love this female from the side. You love how up-headed and elegant this female looks. Her chest floor is so pretty and elegant, sits in her just right. You love the angles of this female too, and she gets out there and reaches and hit that stride with free and ease. For me, though, you get behind this female and you kind of get lost. She doesn't have the overall muscle expression and power as a female that wins this class, but certainly one that is so pretty and elegant from the side when you study her. Let's give both these exhibitors a nice big round of applause. Certainly a very high-quality single-entry female here, one that you love the amount of substance and depth of body and overall rib cage in this female. You love the strength in this one's spine. Her angles are good. When you study her from her ankle up, her hock sits in her right, her knee is right. She gets a little bit straighter there between her dew claw and the backside of her hoof, but one that's certainly a very high-quality female. Congratulations to you, young lady.
Catching up on some results here in the Red Angus ring. The results from Class 619, the February Junior Yearling Heifer class. First place went to entry 3723, Leon Angels London 718E, exhibited by Tayton Poff. And second went to entry 3687, Red Diamond Cowboy Queen 418, exhibited by Josie Bocott. Then in our Class 620, January Junior Yearling Heifers, our first place went to entry 3147, CAF Concord Princess 695, exhibited by Travis Sadowski. Now in the ring, we are competing for our Champion Junior Heifer division.
We bring our first and seconds back out here for this division. I think it's very handily. There's a pair of females out here that go quite good together in my mind, in my division, or in my opinion. I think they complement each other. One just got a little more to her than the female that is going to be reserved. Let's give them a nice big round of applause, and I'll get you a grand in reserve.
the results of the champion junior heifer division. Our champion is entry 3723, Leon Angels London 718E, exhibited by Tate and Poff. And our reserve junior heifer division champion was entry 3687, Red Diamond Cowboy Queen 418, exhibited by Josie Bocott. Now in the ring is class 623, our senior yearling heifer class, and there should be one entry.
Just a single entry here in our senior yearling division, but one that is so deserving in being here at this stage in the game, you know, holding these senior yearlings and showing them all the way up to they're close to 2 years old. I appreciate that. This female is incredibly built. She's a moderate, big kind of package cow. She's got some power and mass. She's got that baby belly showing, and the udder development is starting to come in. You know, this one should be getting ready to calve in the next 60, 70 days or so. But one that is so fresh in her overall appearance and kept that soundness when you get this heavy bred and getting this far along in gestations. Congratulations to you, young lady, on a nice senior yearling female. Just a single entry here in our pair class, but one that's certainly worth being here. One that is has put a lot of time and effort into this calf. I'm assuming this is the one that wins that first division, but one that a cow that you study, you know, a cow that you can tell she's been milked down. She's done a really good job raising this calf, but with that, she still has a very elegant look. You love the bone work and design of this female, the udder development in this female. That fore-udder ties in nice and tight. You like the teat placement and the overall size and development of this one. And when you study this one from behind, she has some width and carries that udder nice and high. Certainly a really, really nice pair. Let's give them a nice round of applause. First off, I would like to say thanks to the Red Angus Association for having me out to judge this show today. Erin gave me a call and asked me if I could come down, and I told her I'd be honored to get down here and to be able to sort this show. The appreciation that I have for the Red Angus breed is so good. You know, you can take these cattle, you can put them in the show ring, but more the bigger thing is you can turn these females out, and they're going to be good cows. You know, it's not a breed that we are typically heavily involved with. My kids show a few of them, but we don't have just a pasture full of these, but we certainly utilize them in our calving operation for our first calf heifers and trying to create our commercial herd. I think it's they're very good at that, and they're good doability and good cattle to keep around. As far as recips and show cattle, I really appreciate the breed as an overall design, that they're so well built. When you get these females back out here and you start studying them all the way from that calf to that pair that's out here at the end of the line, you know, these cattle, they have functionality, they're good at the ground, they're square on their feet and legs. When you study them on paper, the EPD spread on these cattle is very good. You know, you might have one that might be pushing a 2 on a birth weight, but still that's not outside the realm of reality. And then you get some that push a huge Pro S out here, and you can tell those cattle apart, and that's a very good sign for me when you study them. I think there's a couple of females out here that just combine so many good parts and pieces. I'm not going to go back through and talk each and every one of these individually. Let's give them a nice big round of applause, and I'll get you a grand in reserve.
Congratulations, Grand Champion Red Angus female. Goes entry 3723, Leon Angels London, 718E, exhibited by Tatum Poff. And our reserve Red Angus female went to entry 3696, Kip MS BO 23 Bell 2422, exhibited by Josie Bocott. We will next move into our bull show, and then at the conclusion of our show, we can take all our backdrop pictures over in the large arena.
really good duo of bulls out here. And when you study both of these bulls, they both have good about them. The bull that's going to lead off this class, he doesn't have all the bells and whistles, and it's not as far as long as the bull that's going to be second. But where he excels in this class, his number spread is so good. He's a Cavanese bull. He's opened up in that rib cage. He is smooth in that shoulder. I'd like to pretty him up in his bone work and all that, and give him a little more style and dimension about him when he's out here. But one that just is a combination bull when you study him on paper and the foot, a really nice bull. Young man's bull that's going to be second, I'll tell you, this is the show bull out here. You love a lot of parts and pieces about him. He's good in his shoulder. He's good in the top side of his neck. You love the feet and leg in this bull. You could give him a little more base width when you get him out on the move. But with this one, with his birth weight being what it is, it's just a little scary to me to think of this one being turned out and put into production. He might make show females, but you're going to have to use him on a low birth weight cow to keep that in check when you get him out here in the show ring. Certainly a nice duo of bulls. Let's give him a nice big round of applause. Single entry bull here, certainly one that could stand some competition. He gets out in free and ease on his feet and legs. He's got that good masculine bull look to him. You study him down his top. He's got some shape. He's opened up in that rib cage. One that just puts a lot of good parts and pieces together. And when you study him on the paper, he's very complete all the way from his birth weight through his yearling, and his pro dollar sits in there quite nicely too. A very high quality bull for this young exhibitor. Nice duo of single entries when we get them back out here for this calf division. Each one of these bulls, you study them. They're good in their type and kind. The bull that's in this first class, one that is so put together at this stage in the game. You love the depth of body, the rib shape, the angularity of this bull from his foot all the way up through his hock, and he gets out free and easy on his legs. He's good in his testicular development in this stage in the game. One that gives you a good masculine look to be a bull that you turn out and breed a bunch of cows. Young lady that has the first place in this next class, one that when you study him out here, that bull that's in the first class, he's not as far along. He's not as opened up in that rib cage. You'd like to give this one a little more time on feed to catch him up with the bull out of that first class, but certainly one that is deserving to be out here when you study him from the ground up. Let's give these exhibitors a round of applause, and I'll get you your grand, and we'll bring that second back out here and get you a reserve. Congratulations on a good set of bulls. Very nice single entry bull here in our fall division. This bull's getting to be about that age of a yearling, one that is so complete. You love the power and the mass of this bull, the rib cage and depth of body that he's going to pass on. One that is good in his shoulder slope, but when you study him from the side, maybe like to push it in there ever so slightly to smoothen him up into that neck juncture. But one that's certainly a high quality bull. And when you study him on paper, his numbers is a really big spread from a really Cavanese bull up to a good yearling weight. Let's give this exhibitor a nice round of applause. Look at our March yearling bull out here. When you study this bull from the side, he's so long spined and level out that top. He's good at the ground on his feet. You love the toe width in this bull and the overall dimension. When you stand behind him, he's got some power. For me, I'd like to free him up in that hock ever so slightly out on the move, but one that's certainly powerful and a good numbered bull on top of that. Congratulations to this exhibitor. We get our senior bull out here. This is what it's all about. You get this bull out here. He's so long and massive when you study him. And that's just the top side of this bull. Where this one excels is at the ground. He's free and ease on them feet and legs. They reach up there. They hit that stride. And that's not easy for a bull that's this big and this heavy, but he does it so handily and so well. And you love the angularity of this bull's shoulder when you study him into that neck. You know, the crest sets in him right. His pole, this is a really, really nice breeding piece. And when you study this bull on paper, he is good numbered. He is good for a yearling weight. His prowess is pretty good. I think this is just a very high quality senior bull. Let's give her a round of applause. what a tremendous bull show. Not high in numbers, but definitely high in quality all the way through from these grands and reserves and those divisions. I think this has been a very solid from that female show into these bulls. You know, you don't know really what you get into when you start doing these things, but I think as breeders, you should all be proud of the cattle that you brought out here. They're all good in their type and kind. Whether you're more of a commercial guy and doing this for fun with your kids, or if you're out here to show, I think this has been a just outstanding show all the way through. The quality's been deep. I've had fun sorting through these cattle and getting to use these numbers and look at them and try to place them with each cow that's out here. With that said, I'd like to say thanks to the Keystone. I still have a few more days here sorting some stuff out through the rest of the weekend. But this has been a great opportunity for me to get down here and sort these cattle. I appreciate it a lot. Let's give these bull exhibitors a round of applause, and I'll get you a grand in reserve.
Results of our bull show here will get caught back up. First class of February bull calves. First place had gone to 33.55, Cayuga View Troy 425 from Cayuga View Farm. And second to 518, CAF Riverboat Gambler, exhibited by Gabe Zepp. In our January bull calf class, class 636, first place went to entry 2589, MBC Cade 507, exhibited by Badland Montrose. In class 640, our senior bull calf was entry 3377, Cayuga View Spencer 1424, exhibited by Cayuga View Farm. In our 648 March Spring Yearling Bull class, first place went to entry 3513, Graham Moving On M246, exhibited by Pelton Hills Farm. Class 655, our 2-year-old bull, first place went to 3283, WD Pursuit 319, exhibited by Leon Cattle Company. Our grand champion bull today was entry 3283, WD Pursuit 319, exhibited by Leon Cattle Company. And our reserve overall bull was entry 3377, Cayuga View Spencer 1424. Now in the ring is our class 661 junior Geta sire. All right, results of our produce of dam class, first and second, both went to Lexi Zepp from Country View Acres. Attention Red Angus exhibitors. We are excited to announce the results of our premier exhibitor and premier breeder. Premier exhibitor went to Madeline Montrose, and premier breeder went to Pelton Hills Farm. If you could come back into the ring to receive your banners, that would be great. Again, our premier exhibitor in the Red Angus was Madeline Montrose, and our premier breeder was Pelton Hills Farm.